everybody, and good morning, and my most sincere apologies. Plant's looking a little bit tired again. My most sincere apologies for showing up late. I'm 15 minutes for our 10 a.m. live and I am late, so please, sorry. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you so much. Now, if it's the first time that you've stumbled across our page, hello and welcome. It is so lovely to have you here. I am Edwina, I'm a registered midwife, and I jump on here a couple of times a week on Monday and Thursday morning, usually at 10 a.m. Very sorry about that. Running late this morning. It's been one of those crazy mornings. And I just answer any questions that you might have about your pregnancy or your birth preparation or anything about your newborn baby or around sleep and settle. I run BirthBeat. BirthBeat is, as you probably are aware, an online education platform. So what I love, and I love that you guys already know, if you have any questions, pop them here in the comments. Please say hello. Let me know how many weeks pregnant you are or whether you've got little bub there with you now watching along. Please just know that if you are putting a comment here, that it can be publicly read. So some people have already sent in questions via Instagram, and if I don't get to answer them all here today, because often a lot of questions come through very quickly, I will also be answering in our Instagram stories. Excuse me. I've run into the office because I knew I was running late. But please know that other people can read it. We've just had a couple of incidences where mums super excitedly have been watching BirthBeat for a long time as they're planning their fertility, and they're letting me know that they're 6 or 8 weeks pregnant, but they probably weren't ready to say that publicly. So again, just know that everyone can see what's on the page. Hello, Natasha. Natasha says, hi Edwina, little one is 4 months and has just started to wake 5 times a night in the past week. Sometimes can settle without being fed, used to wake about 2 times. He's exclusively breastfed, so that's what EBF means, everyone. Have bought your sleep program and currently trying to implement as bub can't self-settle. Does it sound like he's just hit the 4-month regression and can't get back to sleep himself? Confusing, as one night last week he slept 8.5 hours straight, also trying to transition to his cot for night sleep. So a lot is happening at once. Thanks. Totally, Natasha. Lots is happening for bub. I think there's a few things playing in there. So I love that you've already got the sleep program and you can go back and just tick all these things off as you're going through. So checking what does his environment look like first and foremost. So if he's just transitioning into the cot, that does take a little bit of time. Some babies just go from bassinet to cot and it's not an issue. Some babies, it takes a little bit longer for that transition just to really sort of happen. It does sound to me, the waking 5 times a night suddenly, like classic 4-month sleep regression. So in the sleep program, we actually have, there's a little button that says 4-month sleep regression. Have a read through that as well, because I've got some really specific tips for you to manage the sleep regressions and how to get through them, but also making sure that you're continuing to have those positive sleep associations. The beauty of the sleep regressions, and they don't just happen at 4 months, they actually happen 6 to 8 weeks, 4 months, 8 months, and 12 to 15 months, is that they do pass, but stay really consistent with the sleep and settle routines that you're already using out of the program. This will pass, but particularly the 4-month one, we find that if we sort of slip back into some bad habits or some habits that, not necessarily bad, but just habits that you don't want to continue to maintain, then it can be really challenging. So the 4-month time is the time to be really consistent. I think the next part of your question was, so yes, to answer to that is, sounds like classic 4-month sleep regression. Best thing for you to be doing is just stay consistent with what you're choosing, whether you're doing shush pat or space soothing. I would recommend a shush pat back to sleep so that he can learn to self-settle. It will come, but it just takes quite a bit of consistency. I'm happy as well, Natasha, anyone who's doing our sleep program, if you want to send me a DM, I'm more than happy to answer that in a bit more detail if you want. Kelly has said, hi Edwina, we are watching 5 weeks today. Oh, how wonderful. Casey Lee, hi Casey Lee, 2-year-old and 6-month-old in Brisbane. Love seeing all these regular names, and I really feel like I get to know you as well. Hey Nicole. Brianna has asked, hi Edwina, my daughter is 8 months and has been waking very frequently through the night, every 1 to 2 hours. So Brianna, exactly on that, and we actually have the blog also on the website. So if you go to birthbeat.com and have a look at our blogs, the latest blog is all around sleep regressions, because it sounds to me, Brianna, like you are going through a 8-month sleep regression. There's a lot of focus and a lot of talk on the 4-month-old ones, but just so that you know, they do happen at 6 to 8 weeks, 4 months, 8 months, which I think you're probably experiencing at the moment, and then around 12 to 15 months as well. So it sounds to me like that is how we know that it is a sleep regression. And again, in our program, we talk in a lot more detail about how to manage them, how to know if it is a sleep regression or is bub unwell. But I actually call them progressions because it's to do with them ticking their developmental milestones. So a good little trick that we teach in our program, and this is for everyone who has a baby that they think might be going through a sleep regression, and what it's associated with is they're learning new things. So we call these developmental leaps. So Brianna, for your little daughter, has she just learnt to, I don't know, pull herself up or crawl or get up onto all fours and rock? Those are the kind of things that when they learn these new skills, it is like their brain is exploding. So it impacts their sleep and they get fussier, they wake more frequently, they might be a little bit more irritable. And the trick around this is A, to continue with your really good sleep habits and sleep routines that we teach, but B, a good trick for you is all those new skills that she's learning, whatever you've noticed that she's learnt lately, like around the 4-month-old, it's normally that they've started to roll or they can push themselves up, or giggling or laughing at the 6 to 8 week regression, at the 12 to 15 week regression, month regression, it's often that they're starting to walk or run. So it's just about going, what is their new skill that they've just learnt? And in the daytime, getting them to do it over and over and over. So, oh, you're a clever girl. Show me how you pull up. Pulling up. Show me how you pull up on the couch. Show me how you pull up here on this chair. Show me. And really giving her lots of positive reinforcement. So she's practicing those new skills, and that will help with the sleep as well. So that's a great tip just for all of you who are watching. Natasha, hi Ed, 33 weeks. What are the signs of amniotic fluid leaking? That is an awesome question, Natasha, and something definitely that all the pregnant mamas need to keep an eye out for. So in our online program, we teach what to expect for your pregnancy, labor, birth, so that we can remove any of that fear or any of that, oh, I'm not sure what to expect. But we also teach, like, when your waters break, what does that look like? What does that sound like? What does that feel like? What have you got to keep an eye out for? So 33 weeks is considered a premature rupture of membranes if your amniotic fluid is leaking. So it's really important that you know this. However, a lot of women that do my online program also talk about, because we have a closed Facebook community, also talk about that often in the later stages of pregnancy, you can actually be a little bit incontinent of urine as well. So you can have a little bit of bladder leakage. So how do you know whether it's bladder leakage or amniotic fluid? The first thing to check is to talk with your midwife. There's actually a really easy test where we just get what looks like a Q-tip or a cotton tip, and we dip that onto your pad so that we know whether it's urine or amniotic fluid. So Natasha, have a chat to your midwife, pop a pad on if you do feel like you're leaking. The thing with when your waters break, or if you are having amniotic fluid leaking, a lot of people think it's like in the movies where you get this big rush of fluid. If Bub's head is low, the amniotic fluid is the fluid that is around your baby, or what we also refer to as the bag of waters. And if the baby's head's really low and that bag of waters breaks, it can just be like a very light, slow leak. So the best thing for you to do, Natasha, is to pop a pad on and go up to your maternity unit, and they'll be able to do a really simple test so that you know whether it's just a little bit of urine or whether it is actually your amniotic fluid. If it is your amniotic fluid as well, it's super important that we know that, particularly at 33 weeks. Nicole has said, my 6-month-old boy prefers to recharge the batteries with power naps and won't sleep for any longer than 20 minutes. Oh, Nicole, that's a challenge. So Nicole, definitely something, again, that we would be able to help you with our sleep program. What we need to be looking at is how we can teach him to link his sleep cycles, because we call that sort of catnapping, and we find that the more that babies catnap, actually the poorer their day sleep gets, and then often poorer their night sleep can get as well. So I think we should, so for you, if it's a problem, if you're happy with the 20-minute power naps, and some babies are like that and it doesn't bother you and that's fine for you and your family and your routine, then that's okay. But if you would like Bub to be having some longer naps or be able to, I don't know, get a few things done yourself during the day, we can help you with teaching Bub how to link their sleep cycles. So it sounds to me like your little guy just goes into a sleep cycle and then wakes again and doesn't know how to link those sleep cycles. So it's definitely something we can help with if it's a problem with you. That's the thing with sleep, sort of sleep training or anything around support with sleep as a sleep consultant. Some people say to me, oh, no, you know, you shouldn't do that, or, you know, babies will work it out themselves. That's okay for some people. Some babies don't work it out for themselves. And I was someone who really liked sleep. Like, I know that my mental and physical health is so much better if I am getting sleep. So I needed the support and I needed the information, and I found it really hard to get it in a non-biased, non-judgmental, really sort of soft, friendly way. So that's the course that I have designed, that I will show you how to do this, but also hold your hand and say, you're doing a really good job. Maybe just try a couple of little, this tweak or this change. And it's not like a cry it out, hard ass method. That's not the way that I teach, because it's not what I could have done with my babies. But it's only a problem if it's a problem for you. So for me, 20-minute naps, I would have found that really hard because I had a toddler as well when Theo was a baby, and I wouldn't have got any downtime. But if it's okay with you and it's your first baby, then don't worry about it. It's just, if it's a problem for you, reach out to me, send me a DM. We're able to show you ways for Bubba to have longer sleep. And then Nicole said he does, however, sleep all night from 6 till 6. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, if that's cool for you, great. We probably could still be getting you sort of 45-minute, hour and a half sleeps during the day and still be sleeping 6 to 6. That doesn't have to change. Brianna has said, hi Edwina, my little daughter is 8 months old and EBF. All the environment is as you would like since she was 3 months, waking every 2 hours and cannot self-settle. So Brianna, around that, particularly with 8 months old, I would recommend the spaced settling or the spaced soothing, where, and again, it can take a few days, even up to a week, till you notice some changes. So being super consistent with it and really following the guidelines and the rhythms and the routines that we teach in our course really consistently, and you will see changes, but it takes at least 3 days to start to see the true benefits of it. It's awesome that you've already got the environment sorted, like you're doing a great job there. But I think at 8 months, we really do need to support you and to support her to be able to sleep for longer periods, because I imagine you're pretty exhausted, Brianna. So send me a DM if you want to as well, just so that we can go through around, like, are you feeding every 2 hours? I'm sure she's not actually requiring to be fed every 2 hours. It sounds to me like she has, from 12 weeks, started to establish some really strong sleep associations, that when she wakes, she has a feed, or she has you to come in and help settle her, which is fine until now. But if it is a problem for you, let me know. I would recommend spaced soothing, and we're able to teach you and show you how to do that. So just come and have a look at birthbeat.com. Nirali says, hi Edwina, I have a 4-week-old baby boy and he's not a good sleeper anymore. Even daytime and nighttime as well. He would sleep well in my arms, but as soon as put on his back, he starts wiggling and starts crying. I have tried settling techniques and swaddling as well. He's EBF and can't self-settle. I'm running out of options. Please advise. Can I just say, Nirali, and again, we teach this in our online program, at 4 weeks, it's still really early. That little bub still actually is thinking that they are in utero, so they're used to being constantly cuddled, constantly shushed. I would encourage you to, when you do get bub to sleep, swaddling really well, putting bub either on you or in a bassinet, settling on their side, really well swaddled in a dark room with some white noise. That's as best we can to recreate that amniotic sort of whoosh sound. That's where the white noise works really well. The other thing is, at 4 weeks, try and get some rest when he's getting some rest, because he is going to be awake a lot. You know, they feed a lot, they need a lot of skin to skin and a lot of cuddles. So you might find for a few weeks, the best place that he settles is on your chest, in your arms, even being worn on you. So baby wearers can be really great for that. And know that you're not forming any bad habits. You can't spoil a newborn. And then really looking at about 12 weeks to start introducing some of the settling techniques that we use. So I don't know, Narelli, if you are part of our online program. If you are part of our online program, look at the 0 to 12 weeks module and have a look at the 5 S's, because that will really help you. Newborns 0 to 12 weeks, it's very different. I don't actually encourage you to really be persisting with actual settling techniques, because at 4 weeks old, they're just really not, they're not able to do that yet. So we kind of say softly, establish good habits, establish good associations, use all the wind down routines. He might be overtired. There's lots of things that I would be able to help you with, but I wouldn't stress too much yet about self-settling, because it's probably a little bit early for him to be able to do that. Jess has said, 9-month-old, about to crack 7th tooth, waking himself 3 times a night, crawling in cot, sitting, standing and rubbing his face, won't go back to sleep without assistance. Yes, and Jess, this is hugely challenging. Again, when children are unwell or teething, a lot of what we teach can just go out the window. So be gentle on yourself, be gentle on him, stay consistent with your wind down routines. And this might just be a little blip on the sleep radar where he needs to just have a bit of extra support from you. So that is absolutely okay, if that's still okay with you. Natasha just said, thank you. My absolute pleasure. Mel, 7-month-old from girl in Brisbane. Brianna, thanks Edwina, I'll look it up. Great. Manel said, hi, my baby is 2 weeks old and the belly button didn't fall off. Is that okay? No, Manel, well, it's not okay, but it's usually within 10 days to 2 weeks. We would expect that the belly button has fallen off. And when I say the belly button, not the actual belly button, but the cord, the little bit of cord that is still attached to the belly button. So what I would encourage, Manel, and I haven't had a look at your bub's belly, but if it's all clean and it's dry, then just wait a little bit longer. If you find that it's damp or mucky or red or any signs of infection, get your midwife or your GP to have a look at it. And what I would recommend is making sure that you fold the nappy underneath the belly button so that it can dry out a little bit. If it stays moist and wet the whole time, sometimes it takes longer for it to dry out and drop off. So just making sure that it's clean and dry and closing the nappy or folding the nappy down so that it's not constantly rubbing on that belly, and I'm sure it will fall off shortly. But as I said, any signs of infection or if bub's got any fever, please make sure that you get it checked out. If you want to take a photo and send it to me, that's also fine. But I usually just say, just show it to your midwife. They'll be able to let you know. Hello, Nicole Taylor, 4th baby and big issue. Yes, okay. So, and that's the thing, like, I don't want to project or say, oh, sleeping every 20 minutes sleeping only for 20 minutes in the day is wrong. It's not wrong. It's just what your baby has learnt to do. But if that doesn't work for you and your family, Nicole, come and check out BirthBeat. We will be able to help teach you how to help him link his sleep cycles, because yes, 4th baby, I'm sure that he's out and about and on the move a lot. So we need to be able to support you and the whole family on that one. Mel Jane said, is it okay that my 7-month-old just snacks on bottles? Mel, yes, but I need to know a little bit more to that. What is it in terms of calories and solids? Is Bub having, 3 solid meals a day? Often they will start to really decrease on their bottles. What I would be doing is making sure that you introduce water and milk in a sippy cup. Sometimes babies are a little bit more likely to do that if they're getting onto solids. It just sounds like he might just be weaning himself quite quickly, and that's absolutely fine as long as he's healthy, well, putting on weight and thriving. Narali said, thanks, Edwina. This really helps. My absolute pleasure, guys. All right. I know that's only a quick one, but I got here late. All the other questions that you've sent through on Instagram stories, I will answer in stories later this afternoon and tonight. If you need any support with sleep or preparing to have your best birth or ensuring that you have a really healthy pregnancy, even the baby and child first aid, just come and say hello at BirthBeat and check out our 3 different programs where I will hold your hand and support you there. Talk soon. Bye.